from West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Support for the following is provided by the West Virginia Department of Education and West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Hey everyone, it's Education Station, the show where we invite teachers from all across West Virginia to submit videos of themselves teaching their favorite lessons. In today's episode, we've got 3 exciting lessons about grammar and reading. Well, hello and welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Alex Milanese, and before we start today's episode, have you ever made a rhyme just in time? Or have you ever been a poet, but you didn't know it? Well, those are both examples of rhyming words, which pop up all the time in literature. So for more on this topic, let's go visit Miss Odle.
Hi, my name is Krista Odle, and I'm a senior at Bluefield High School. I attend the Careers in Education class at Mercer County Tech Center. Today we're going to be discussing rhyming words by reading Hop on Pop by Dr. Seuss. Up, pup, pup is up. Cup, pup, pup in cup. Pup, cup, cup on pup. Mouse, house, mouse on house. House, mouse, house on mouse. All tall, we all are tall. All small, we all are small. All ball, we all play ball. Ball wall, up on a wall. All fall, fall off the wall. Day play, we play all day. Night fight, we fight all night. He, me, he is after me. Him, Jim, Jim is after him. C, B, we see a bee. C, B, 3, now we see 3. 3 tree, 3 fish in a tree. Fish in a tree, how can that be? Red, red, they call me red. Red bed, I am in bed. Red, Ned, Ted, and Ed in bed. Pat, Pat, they call him Pat. Pat sat on hat. Pat, cat, Pat sat on cat. Pat, bat, Pat sat on that. No, Pat, no, don't sit on that. Sad dad, bad had. Dad is sad, very, very sad. He had a bad day, what a day Dad had. Thing, thing, what is that thing? Thing, sing, that thing can sing. Song long, a long, long song. Goodbye thing, you sing too long. Walk, walk, we like to walk. Walk, talk, we like to talk. Hop, pop, we like to hop. We like to hop on top of Pop. Stop, you must not hop on top of Pop. Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, Mr. Brown upside down. Pup up, Brown down. Pup is down, where is Brown? Where is Brown? There is Brown. Mr. Brown is out of town. Back, black, Brown came back. Brown came back with Mr. Black. Snack, snack, eat a snack. Eat a snack with Brown and Black. Jump, bump, he jumped, he bumped. Fast, past, he went past, fast. Went, tent, sent, he went into the tent. I sent him out of the tent. Wet, get, 2 dogs get wet. Help, yelp, they yelp for help. Hill, wheel went uphill. Wheel, hill, still, wheel is uphill still. Father, mother, sister, brother, that one is my other brother. My brothers read a little bit, little words like if and it. My father can read big words too, like Constantinople and Timbuktu. Say, what does this say? Ask me tomorrow, but not today. Now that we've read Hop on Pop, let's review what a rhyming word is. So we have the word fish and wish. Do these two words rhyme? If you said yes, you are correct because they both end in ish. They both have the same ending sound. Okay? What about tag and rag? If you said yes, you are correct because they both end in ag. They both have the same ending sound. Okay? Let's go to bug and sat. This one does not rhyme because bug has the ending ug and sat has the ending at. So these do not rhyme. Now that we've reviewed what a rhyming word is, let's do a little activity. So we have the word up. It has the up sound and it rhymes with pop. Then we have a mouse. It has the ouse sound. All has the all sound and it rhymes with tall and ball. Day has the a sound. C has the E sound at the end and it rhymes with B. Bed has the ed sound and it rhymes with red. Cat has the at sound and it rhymes with pat. Had has the ad sound at the end and it rhymes with dad. So now we have the word cup. Where would the word cup go? If you said under up, you are correct. Next we have the word house. What word would house rhyme with? If you said mouse, you are correct. Next we have the word bad. Where would bad go? If you said had, you are correct. It rhymes with dad. Next we have the word wall. Where would wall go? It would go underneath all with ball and tall. Next we have the word small. Where would it go? It would also go under all. Next we have the word sad. It would go under the word had. Next we have the word sat. Where would it go? If you said cat, you are correct. Next we have the word bat. What word does it rhyme with? It rhymes with cat also. Next we have the word play. Which word rhymes with play? If you said day, you are correct. Next we have the word three. What rhymes with three? Three rhymes with C and B. Next we have the word Ted, and it rhymes with bed and red. And last we have the word Ned. What does it rhyme with? It also rhymes with bed, Ted, and red. Now that we have a better understanding of rhymes, let's see what they look like in a sentence. Can you help me figure out the words that rhyme in these sentences? A bug on a rug. Which two words rhyme? The words bug and rug rhyme in this sentences because they both end in ug. Now we have this sentences. A tag on a bag. Which two words rhyme in this sentence? If you said tag and bag, you are correct because they both end in ag. Now that you have a better understanding of rhyming words, the next time you read a book, try to pick out the words that rhyme.
Thanks, Miss Odle. Okay, next up, I imagine most of us have heard the story Mother Goose, but have any of you heard about Mother Bruce? Well, if not, you'll love our next story, read by Miss Jarroll. Let's check it out.
Hi, boys and girls. My name is Lauren Jarroll, and the story I'm going to read to you today is Mother Bruce. It was supposed to be Mother Goose, but you can see there's been a word crossed out. It was written by Ryan T. Higgins, and I think you'll find it really funny and silly. Our story is Mother Bruce by Ryan T. Higgins. And you can see it was supposed to be Mother Goose, but now it's Mother Bruce. Bruce was a bear who lived all by himself. He was a grump. He did not like sunny days. He did not like rain. He did not like cute little animals. Bruce only liked one thing: eggs. He collected them from all over the forest. "Good morning, Mrs. Sparrow." But Bruce didn't eat eggs raw like other bears. Instead, he cooked them into fancy recipes that he found on the internet. One day, Bruce came across a recipe for hard-boiled goose eggs drizzled with honey salmon sauce. So he went out to get the ingredients. First, he caught a few salmon. Then he collected honey from a local beehive. He liked to support local businesses, you see. Last, he went to Mrs. Goose's nest to pay her a visit. "Are these eggs free-range organic?" At home, Bruce prepared the eggs for hard boiling. But the fire in his stove fizzled, so he went out to get more wood. When Bruce came back, he was met with an unwelcome surprise. Uh-oh, let's turn the page and see what happens. "Mama!" Bruce became the victim of mistaken identity. Imagine that. 4 little goslings. Bruce wanted hard-boiled eggs, not goslings. He supposed he could settle for buttered goslings on toast, but for some reason he lost his appetite. Bruce scooped up the little geese and stomped back to their nest. "I will have to ask Mrs. Goose about her return policy," only to find Mrs. Goose had flown south early. Bruce left the goslings there anyway and went back home. "Mama, Mama," but he was followed. Bruce was very stern and said things like, "Go away," and "I am not your mother," and also, "I liked you better when you were eggs." Bruce could not take it any longer and became extra grumpy with them. Arrgh! Very grumpy. It didn't work. Goslings always follow their mother, even if she is a he and he is a bear. "Mama?" Bruce was stuck with them. He tried to make the best of it. It was hard work. And here we see them painting, and he's feeding them, and look, they don't like his food. Blah, ugh, yuck. And then they're sleeping on a log together. As the seasons passed, Bruce watched the pesky goslings grow older. From annoying baby geese, they became stubborn teenage geese, and finally boring adult geese. Then one fall afternoon, he saw other goose families flying south. Finally, he'd be rid of those geese, and he could take a long winter nap. Bruce explained migration. That's where birds fly south for the winter, but they didn't listen. Bruce needed the geese to leave, so he got creative. He's trying to get them to fly by using a slingshot. Nothing worked. The geese would not leave Bruce. So Bruce decided to pack some bags and take his geese into town. They boarded a bus. And migrated to Miami. Now every winter, Bruce and his geese head south together. They laze about at the beach in tacky shirts, sipping ice-cold lemonade while Bruce dreams of new recipes that don't hatch. Mama? The end.
Thanks, Miss Jarroll. All right, now, have you ever heard someone say that you can't judge a book by its cover? Well, all that means is that you can't judge someone or something by what they look like on the outside. So that's the main theme of our next story, which is going to be read by Miss Morse. Let's check it out.
Hello again, this is Miss Jody from the Literacy Volunteers in Harrison County, and I've come to tell you a story. Probably you've heard it before, and it's called The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. Now I have to tell you personally, I don't like to call anybody or anything ugly. I'd rather say they just look a little different. But the name of the story is The Ugly Duckling, so that's what we're going to call it. Okay. It was so lovely in the country. It was summer. The wheat was yellow, the oats were green, and the hay was stacked in the green meadows. And down there, a stork was tiptoeing on his red legs, jabbering Egyptian, a language of his mother had taught him. Round about the fields and meadows were great forests, and in the middle of the forest lay a deep lake. Yes, it was indeed lovely. Bathed in sunshine, there stood an old manor house, surrounded by a deep moat, and from the walls, down by the water, the bank was covered with great rhubarb leaves. The place was as much of a wilderness as the densest wood, and there sat a duck on her nest. Duck. She was busy hatching her ducklings. But she was almost tired of it because sitting was such a hard business, and she had very few people come to see her. The other ducks thought it was more fun to swim around in the moat and come and gossip. At last, one eggshell after another began to crack, and cheep, 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 cheep. All the yolks had come to life, and they were quacking their heads off. Quack, quack, said the duck, and all of her ducklings came scurrying. The mother duck let them know how much they liked because green is good for the eyes. How big the world is, all the ducklings for once. Comfortable, and they were lying in the egg. You imagine this is the whole world, asked their mother. It goes far beyond the garden. And she said, I've never been there yet, and I hope we're all here. I haven't even been there. But the biggest nest, there was another egg, and it was a big one, and it hadn't hatched yet. I'm getting rather bored with this whole thing. And she sat down on the nest. The last egg is taking an awfully long time, said the duck. It won't break, and let me show you the others. They're the sweetest little ducklings. Let me look at that egg that won't break, said the old duck. Are you sure it's not even a turkey egg? I was rather fooled once. I quacked them. Let me see the egg. Of course, if I've taken so much trouble, I might as well just sit a little longer, said the duck. Please yourself. At last, the big egg cracked. Cheep, cheep, said the youngster, scrambling out. It was so big and so ugly. The duck looked at it. What a frightfully big duckling you are. None of my others look like that. Could you possibly be a turkey? Well, we'll soon find out. The next day, the weather turned glorious. Mother duck appeared with her family. Splash, they all went into the water. Quack, 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 she said. One duckling after another plumped in the water. The water closed over their heads, but they popped up again, and their legs worked of their own accord, and they were swimming. But the ugly gray creature was swimming with them. That's no turkey, she said. Look how nicely he uses his legs. How straight he holds himself. He isn't really so bad if you really look at him. Quack, quack, come along with me. I'll take you out to the world. So they made their entrance into the junkyard. What a pandemonium. Pandemonium means a lot of noise. Two families were quarreling over this. There they are. There's the way of the world, said Mother Duck. Now use your legs, she said. Move briskly and curtsy. Be nice to polite to people. It's a great distinction, she said, being a high honor bestowed upon a duck. Now hurry, don't turn your toes in. She teaches them how to swim. And they all did as they were told, and the other ducks around and around. There now, we have a crowd. But what a dreadful-looking creature, the others would say. Oh, we don't put up with him. Leave him alone, said the mother. He's not bothering any of you. I know, but the duck who had bitten him, but he's too big and he's odd-looking. Who wants that? They're pretty children you've got, Mother, said one other duck. They're all so nice, except that one. He's so big and ugly. Oh, he's not handsome. He's good as gold. He swims as well or better than the others. I expect his looks will improve. He was in the egg too long. She pecked at his neck and brushed up his little man. As it happens, maybe he's a drake, which is a man-type duck. There's a mama duck, and then the drake is the father. The other ducklings are lovely. Bring him in, and so they all felt at home. But the poor duckling, who was the last to be hatched, looked so ugly, was bitten and buffeted. The others knocked into him. He's too big, they all said. So maybe he's an emperor. No. The poor duckling did not know where to turn. He was miserable because of his ugliness. And so it went. The first day, and it got worse and worse, day after day. The poor duckling just chased everybody. His own brothers and sisters were nasty to him. I wish he were miles away. And the ducks bit him and sent him on his way. Half running, he ran over the fence. The little bird said, "Oh, look at that ugly duck." So he closed his eyes, and he kept running, and finally he came to a great marsh where all the wild ducks lived. In the morning, the wild ducks flew up and looked at their new companion. "What sort of fellow are you?" The duckling turned in every direction, bowing as nicely as he could. "You're appallingly ugly," they said. "You're so ugly, would you like to join us as a bird?" "Quack, quack, you're so ugly you might as well appeal to others." Well, shots sprang out, and all the wild ducks were being shot. Great shoot was going on. Men were lying under cover, shooting them all. Blue smoke. Through the mud, the gun dogs came. They looked down at this ugly duckling, scared out of his wits, trying to hide his head under his wing. Suddenly, a big, fierce look, he opened his jaws wide, because he was going to bite this ugly duckling. "Thank heavens I'm so ugly, even the dog won't bite me." And so he lay perfectly still. Toward the evening, when everything quieted down, the poor duckling didn't want to move. Late that night, he reached a wretched little hut, and he stayed, I don't know which way to turn. The storm grew and grew and grew, and then he noticed the door, and he went in. An old woman lived in the house. She looked at him, and the cat looked at him, and they all rubbed against the fur the wrong way, and the hen had short legs, and the chickens didn't like him, the cat didn't like him. "What's the matter?" asked the old woman. "What a windfall. Now I shall have duck eggs," because she thought he was going to make eggs. "Can you lay eggs?" "No." "Well, then we better keep your mouth shut." She didn't even want him there because he was no good. The duckling sat in the corner feeling very gloomy and depressed. Suddenly he thought of fresh air and the bright sunshine. "So, what's the matter with you?" said the hen. "You haven't anything to do. Either lay eggs or you purr like a cat." But it wasn't going to work. "So then you're crazy, I think." And the cat sent him away. Well, if you don't understand, who would? And so the old woman didn't like him, the cat didn't like him, the chickens didn't like him. "Don't make yourself such airs," they said. "Don't pretend. But you talk such nonsense, tell you unpleasant things." And he runs out, and you still can't do anything. The duckling said, "I think I'd better go out in the wide world." "Please yourself," said the hen. So the duckling went away. He swam in the water and dived down, and he was snubbed by every creature because of his ugliness. Autumn came in. That was spring. Now it's autumn, so it's been months and months. The leaves in the woods turned yellow and brown. The wind caught him, whirled around him. The clouds hung low, heavy with hail and snowflakes. On the fence perched a raven, trembling in the cold. "Caw, caw," said the raven. The mere thought of it, because it was going to get winter. One evening, when the sun was setting all around, a big flock of big, handsome birds came out of the bushes. The duckling had never seen anything quite so beautiful as these birds. They were dazzlingly white, long necks. They were swans. They uttered the most uncanny cry. They made a funny sound. They rose high, flew in the air, and he could not forget those noble birds when they flew away. He was quite beside himself. He loved them more than anything he loved. He did not envy them because he was a kind bird. As the winter grew cold and bitter, the duckling was forced to swim about in the water to keep from freezing. At last it froze hard, and the ice made a funny noise. You know what happens when it freezes. And then it starts to crack. At the end, he was exhausted. Early morning, a farmer came by, and he saw him and he went to the ice and helped him get out. The children wanted to play with him, but he thought they meant him harm, so he fluttered and flew away. What a sight he was. And the woman shrieked and yelled and laughed at him. Fortunately, the door was open. It was time and sad. Oh, he was all by himself all winter. Then suddenly he spread his wings, and the sound of their whirring made him realize he was much stronger than he thought. Before he knew it, he found himself in a garden where the apple trees stood in bloom. It was lovely there, so full of freshened spring. Looking out of the thicket in front of him, he saw the 3 beautiful white swans. They ruffled their feathers proudly and floated so lightly on the water. The duckling recognized the glorious creatures because he remembered them from the year before. I will fly near those royal birds. They will probably peck me to death. But he flew into the water and swam to the beautiful swans. They saw him and dashed him with outspread wings because they didn't know who he was. He saw beneath him, he looked. You know how sometimes the water makes like a mirror if you look in the water if it's dark? So he looked in there, and he saw beneath it his own image. But it was no longer the image of the ugly bird. He himself was a swan. And it doesn't matter that he was born, and here we have a swan. So here's my swan. So it didn't matter that he was born in a duck yard. He was the only one that had a swan egg. We don't know how the swan egg got near the duck. He felt glad to have been all that trouble, for now he was fully and beautifully a swan. Some little children came to the garden to throw bread.
Thanks, Miss Morse. All right, well, that wraps up everything for us here today on Education Station. We want to thank everyone who shared their awesome lessons, and we want to thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Education Station.